14 times faster. That's the number OpenAI put on Ultrafast. It's a new service tier for GPT-5.6 Sol, OpenAI's flagship model, launching first in the API. But the headline number and the fine print tell two different stories, and we read both. Start with the mechanism. Ultrafast is powered by Cerebras, not Nvidia. It generates up to 750 output tokens per second. That's the next step in a partnership OpenAI says is built for ultra-low latency inference. Here's the catch. GPT-5.6 Sol on Ultrafast mode is in limited preview today to a select group of customers, not general availability. OpenAI says it'll expand access as capacity grows. No date attached to that. Who's in that select group? Jane Street. John Crepezi from the firm's AI assistance team gave OpenAI a testimonial. He called the speed increase impressive and said it makes it practical for developers to work alongside the models. That's the endorsement OpenAI chose to publish. Zoom out from Ultrafast and you get the full GPT 5.6 family: Sol, Terra, and Luna. Sol is the flagship, Terra a balanced model for everyday work, Luna the most cost-efficient. 3 tiers, 3 price points, 1 launch. Sol runs $5 per million input tokens, 30 per million output. Terra is $2.50 and 15. Luna is $1.06. Cached input on Sol drops to 50 cents. Push past 272,000 input tokens, and the whole request gets billed at double input, 1.5 times output. On the benchmarks, Sol is the number OpenAI leads with. On Agent's last exam, a test of long-running professional workflows across 55 fields, Sol scores 53.6. That beats Anthropic's Claude Fable 5 by 13.1 points. On the broader Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, Sol on Max reasoning lands within 1 point of Fable 5, close on the scoreboard, but it gets there in 61% less time, at roughly half the estimated cost. Same ballpark score, different bill. Coding tells a similar story. On the Artificial Analysis Coding Agent Index, Sol hits 80. That's a new state-of-the-art, 2.8 points above Fable 5. It gets there using less than half the output tokens and less than half the time, at about a third less cost. There's also a new setting called Ultra. It coordinates 4 agents in parallel by default. More tokens burned, but OpenAI says stronger results and faster time to result on the hardest tasks. Speed by brute force, not by a smarter single model. On the security side, Sol nearly doubles GPT 5.5's peak score on ExploitGym, from 15.1% to 24.9% under a 2-hour cap. Give it 6 hours and it hits 33.7%. That's a real jump in a benchmark measuring whether an agent can turn a vulnerability into a working exploit. That capability cuts both ways, and OpenAI knows it. Cyber safeguards now block roughly 10 times more potentially harmful activity than previous models. Before general availability, OpenAI ran about 700,000 A100 equivalent GPU hours of automated red teaming, aimed specifically at universal jailbreaks, attacks built to work across many prompts, not just one. Sol still doesn't cross the cybercritical threshold in OpenAI's own framework. Down at the consumer end, the free tier changed too. GPT 5.6 Luna is now the default model for free users, with unlimited text chats and a new think button for harder questions. In an internal eval on financial, medical, and legal prompts, factual errors dropped 62% for Luna and 68% for Sol, compared with GPT 5.5 Instant. One thing didn't move. The version of Sol powering work and Codex isn't changing in this release. Everything above, the speed, the benchmarks, the price cuts, sits on top of a model that, for those 2 products, is staying exactly where it was. So Ultrafast is real. Cerebras is real. 750 tokens a second is real. What's not real yet is broad access. It's a preview for a select few, with no promised date for the rest of us. Watch the access list. That's the number that actually matters next.